What's going on, people? Welcome back to the match preview as we build up to the game against Aston Villa on the weekend. I'm joined by T, Patrick, and AJ for the game ahead. We're going to be talking about everything from lineups to how important is this game and much more. As always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace videos. Gents, how are we feeling? Well, I'll be honest, in this preview, based on what we discussed before the show started, it seemed like I'm gonna be fighting a lot in this show for various different reasons. Because there might be certain people on here who, based on their lineup selection, they probably don't want us to win. I mean, we'll get into that later, anyways. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about the game in general. Look, 3 games unbeaten going into this, coming off 2 positive performances against Brentford and, most importantly, against Liverpool as well. But what gives me the confidence most is them positive performances are coming from actual changes in the team. And that's from Anderson coming into the side. And most importantly, Lokonga, someone new midfield who's held it down. So based on that, I am positive going into this game. They are a side that's not too far off us. It is a side that we can beat them. But my question is, I'll start off with you, T. Is this a must-win, considering we've got no win so far this season?
It's a match that we need to win. I say that because, first of all, I think we've done well through a really tough spell of matches. We've done well to procure some points in tough matchups. And now we got to take on somebody who's, one spot above us in the table. So it's a really important match for us to win in this situation. In order to see us make some moves forward. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, it's a very important one.
Yeah, I think you'll close the gap as well. Patrick, how are you feeling ahead of the game?
Well, I want to correct you. I know you misspoke not on purpose. We have won this season. We haven't won this year. Just to correct you, said we haven't won this season. If we haven't, we'd be bottom of the league. We should be sad.
Yeah.
No, you did say that. It's okay.
I'm coming off the bench. If you guys don't know, I'm still ill. I'm trying to hold in my cough.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know you don't feel well. Yeah. How am I feeling about the game?
Be the victim.
Right, exactly. As T mentioned and you mentioned this, we've come off some decent results as far as the points we picked up against very tough opposition. Everybody we played have been in the top 8, so I'm happy about that. Yes, we could have won a couple of those matches possibly. And we didn't, but I'm happy with the fact that we haven't, gone on to this major, massive losing streak. The game against Villa is going to be a tough game. I wouldn't say it's a must-win. I don't believe in must-win unless you're actually in a relegation zone and have to win the game. But it's very important. If we got the win, it would be massive for us because obviously it would take us that much closer to safety and that much closer to Villa. But as far as a must-win, no. Those will probably come much later in the season, April, May.
AJ, for you, based on the performances that we've seen so far, have you been impressed? Because as I said just literally a few minutes ago, that's what's giving me the confidence going into this game. If you can perform like that and have certain plays back into the lineup, and I think that's where the show is going to get heated because few people on here disagree for various different reasons. I think that's when it's going to be exciting. But for you, based on actual performances, have you been feeling optimistic lately more than before?
I think optimistic is definitely the terminology I'd use. I think I've seen enough out of, I reflected on this on the match of reaction where beforehand, and we had those kind of horrific run of games. A lot of people anticipated that we were going to barely pick up any points. However, against a Villa side which are pretty wishy-washy, to be fair, versus us who we managed to hang on to games and we managed to look slightly better in areas as certain players have been reintegrated back into the squad. There's an opportunity for us to get something out of this Villa game, to be fair. I mean, another draw would be a bit dull. However, if we can get maybe 1 or 2 more players back from injury and we can kind of get the squad selection right, fingers crossed, then we're going to be kind of looking at a potential good result here. I don't think it's a must-win. I won't get sucked into that. Because at this point of the season, it's kind of just all about creating a bit of positivity around the atmosphere and kind of getting the team up. I think if we walked away with it with a draw and a stunning performance, I think people would be pretty chilled with that, to be fair. And even I would be pretty chilled with it, to be fair. I would like a win. And I think we're overdue a win. because obviously the one or two fixtures after that ain't going to be looking too great, and then obviously the international break's going to sneak in between that as well. So people will naturally get a little bit more impatient and expectant, especially between, well, kind of going into the running after that international break in March. I'm feeling really optimistic, man. I feel like there's something there, man. I feel like we're getting, you know, as fingers crossed, touch wood, we kind of get the finishing side of the pitch correct. Then we got a chance. We got something going there. Aston Villa aren't unbeatable. Aston Villa aren't a threat in comparison to the last couple of teams we played. So there is something there to be got at.
Yeah, we're pretty relaxed talking about not must win, but then the reality is, if we don't win this game, we got Man City, Arsenal, then Brighton. You're talking about potentially 4 months without a win. And when you look at the fixture list, this was the one. I mean, if you don't beat Villa based on positive performance and players coming back into the side, then what game are you going to win? And if you go 4 months without a win, I think I disagree with you, AJ. I think there will be people upset if we don't go and get the win. I don't think people will be content with a draw. As you can see, there's been a lot of frustrations. Go ahead, Patrick.
It's only 3 months, mate. January, February, March. It won't be 4 months.
Yeah,
we won in December.
We're going into April. It'll be because we're gonna have
It's going to be 3 months. How can we go into? It's going to be 3 months. April's the 4th month. Right? Am I right? Right.
Yeah, but I'm talking about going into the 4th.
In April, we play Leicester, Leeds. We're going to lose all those games too. Then it'll be 4 months. My point is, well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't give the confidence a lot. And also, if you want to look at like that, 3 months, does that make it any better? 3 months without a win. I think 3 months is better than 4. But the point being is, I understand what you're saying, D. I really do. But again, you got to look again. Let's take a step back and again look at who we just played. We played United twice, Man United twice, Newcastle, Brentford, Brighton, Liverpool, and we got 5
Fulham
out of that.
Fulham was in there too.
Yeah, but we lost it.
Yeah.
So, but my point is,
you have to.
No, I don't. No, because that was back in. Wasn't that game back in?
That was the first game back on Boxing Day. Yeah.
Right. But then, all right, can we mention Bournemouth then? We won Bournemouth the next game. I mean, can I mention that game too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I was talking about. What the last time we won a game was on the 26th.
Right, but I'm trying to say is that of those games that I know that we let's go back to January 1st. We played the preview then. We all worried about, losing to United, losing to Newcastle, losing to Brentford. You know what I mean? And we didn't lose to all of them. We lost to one of those games. Yep. I understand what you're saying, that we do need to win a game soon. I get that. But my point is, we didn't lose all those games. So it's not like, yes, we didn't win a game, but we got points out of it. And we are still in that same position where we've been. Yeah, the gap probably shrunk a little bit from where we were now and then we were then, but we're still in 12th position. So to me, it's not panic stations yet. I get we have got to get a win soon. I understand that. If it's not this Saturday, could it be against Man City? It's possible. We beat them at home before. We have beaten them before.
If you're not beating Aston Villa, Patrick, realistically, if we're not beating Villa, I think the chances of us beating the likes of Man City, Arsenal, or Brighton is not going to be any greater because Villa haven't been performing that great.
All right. So do you know what our percentage of relegation? What the percentage of relegation is right now?
I'm not talking about relegation though. I'm not worried about relegation. I'm talking about actually closing the gap because we're talking about winnable games in April, but this is a winnable game right now. I mean, why are we so relaxed about not to go for a win in this game?
I'm sorry, guys. Did we discuss winning the game? We're talking about it being a tough game. We just said you asked us if it was a must-win game. I didn't say it was. I didn't say we can't win a game. Prediction. We haven't got to that part yet. But when I do, I'm going to predict the win. By the way, but my point is that it's not a must-win game. Is what I'm saying to you. The difference between wanting to win a game and saying we have to win the game. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we won't win the game or we can't. I'm saying that we don't have to win the game. And my point is, let's not look at the last 6 games being so bad. We've got some good results. And again, you mentioned before, the performances the last 2 games have been much, much better. Brentford and Liverpool were very much improved over, the Fulham game you want to mention before, the Tottenham game that we lost, the United game away was not great performance. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting better. And I also want to look at the fact that we're getting our injury players back. Zaha should be back soon. Anderson's already back. Richards is back. MacArthur's back. Ferguson's going to be back because he's been playing in under 21. So my point is, we're getting healthier. Are we going to win the game on Saturday? I hope so. I'm going to predict that. But my point is that let's not be so doom and gloom. And to me, it's not yet a must-win game.
And let me ask you all this question real quick. With the way that we've played against some of these top sides, if we come out and play to that level against Villa, do we win?
I think we do. That's why I'm saying this game
So then we
We
need to
should go
just
out there.
do. We
We
just
should
need
go
to
out
be
there, try and win.
consistent with the way we've been playing, man.
Well, it depends
in a
also on the
sense.
players, and let's talk about the players. Let's talk about the players because Patrick mentioned some players that's be coming back from injury. For me, well, I wanted changes in the last game. Them changes didn't happen. Vieira, it worked out in our favor. We kept the clean sheet, but we didn't score any goals. And the majority of the changes that I think all of us want is in attack. So you can say, yeah, we managed to get a point against Liverpool, but then once again in attack, we missed some very big chances. So look, if Wilf is back, I think Wilf has to start. Ebbs comes into the team as well. I was the one here saying Ebbs shouldn't start based on his form, but he has proven himself coming off the bench a few times now, so he should warrant a start. And we should go different, attacking team. And we're facing Aston Villa. It's not going to be an easy game, but it should be a game we should be aiming to win. And if you keep the likes of Mateta, Schlupp, Ayew, and Elise, that attack is just still not good enough. You're expecting something from players that don't produce in front of goal. So for me, if those players are available, which I know Eze is available, Eze should come into the side. I think Wilf should come into the side because even though Wilf is out injured, we know that he tends to come back fast from injuries, and you know he's the one that doesn't require a lot of time for him to come back. I feel like Vieira probably kept him out precautionary against Liverpool. I think he should be ready. So for me, I want to see changes in attack in this game. I want to see us go and attack Villa. And like that, if we have the midfield on lock, which we did with Lukonga there, I think we will create chances. And with those players, with the likes of even Edward starting, it improves our chances of winning the game even better because those attackers can create chances and are probably better in front of goal than what we have right now.
I agree with you.
Fair enough.
I agree with you. No, I agree with what you're saying. It's just, I think it's just a matter of what we want versus what is more than likely going to happen. Right. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I want Edward to start over Mateta. Yes, I want Ebbs to start. Yes, I would love to have Wilf back on the left. I think of all those things, the only thing that probably happens is Wilf on the left if he's available. I don't know. For some reason, man, I just feel like right now Ebbs and Edward are just farther away from the starting 11 than we realize or we want them to be, for sure.
I disagree, and I disagree on the Edward one. Eze is up for debate. I would personally start him, but obviously there's something not quite. There's obviously something amiss there. Bro, I heard man talk about Edward and like creating more chances. Would he though? I mean, Edward's had a lot of chances this season, man, and I just, as the season's gone on and as people pining and demanding for him, I'm just not seeing it, man. I just don't, I think you're just essentially, do you want to get burnt to death or do you want to drown? Like, there's no winner here. Like,
I think that's harsh. The reason why I'm going to say that's harsh is because before he had his injury, he was having goal contributions. I know it's a long time ago now because of the World Cup break, but he was scoring goals. There's a reason why he's our second highest goal scorer. No, I'm not doubting what you're saying about what he's been in front of goal most recently. But if you're talking ability-wise, Edward has shown it this season, and I think he just needs to get a bit of form. If we have those attackers, the likes of Wilf and Eze, and then we have Edward in front of goal, I wanted to have more continued chances. In all honesty, I've said this many times. I just don't think Mateta is good enough for this level. I'd rather Edward have a run of games than Mateta. And why wouldn't Vieira make any changes? Because what has Mateta actually proven since he's been playing? Now, you can say
I'll back him on that. I'll debate that. So, two things you said there, right? The first one is what's Mateta done? Reality situation is when he is off the ball, he works harder. Fact. Like, he works harder. He creates more of a presence in that attacking setup than Edward does. And the second thing is I've heard this term a lot, not just out of UD, to be fair, that Edward is our second top goal scorer in the team. How many goals is that exactly? 3?
5 goals. Five.
I mean,
yeah,
it's not setting the world alight. Like, you know what I mean? I know there's world-class strikers not really available to come to South London like that, but I don't know, man. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it out of either of the two of them. However, I will agree to the caveat of he does need to have a run of games just to see what he would do anyway. because I think the Mateta thing is getting a bit frustrating, and you know he is a bit clumsy on the ball, and he don't seem to be able to hit the back of a barn door. But I don't think Edouard's got the presence without having somebody, or maybe even both Wilf and Elise, creating the chances and putting in the box room, because we know Edouard's going to get the ball. He's not going to shoot outside the box. He's not really that much of a dominant dribbler like that either. He needs the ball to feet, and he needs the ball to feet 6 yards out of the box. Sorry, 6 yards to the goal even. So with the attackers that we've got, they're not going to create that for him, like as it stands right this second. That's why I'm kind of not sold on either. Until at least we get the full squad back to the full fitness and full health, I don't think we can play to that strength. I just don't think we can play to Edouard's strengths.
So I want to just add this, because D talked about something I've mentioned before, and I'm not a massive Edouard fan, but I have no problem him coming back in. But I'm looking at the previous matches this season. Edouard had a 6-match consecutive playing streak early season. It was it was Chelsea, Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton. Over those games, he scored against Chelsea, Leeds, had an assist against Wolves, and scored against Southampton. So the fact is, the majority of his
4 out of 6 goal contributions.
Exactly. So based on that, I'd have no problem giving him that run, but for me, he has to produce. All right. But I've said that before. But I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say I said that before. I got no problem giving Edouard 10 games straight. But again, it's not the manager's fault. You said it, D. He got injured. That's why.
Yeah, and he hasn't been good enough.
So,
just like with Eze, I said it as well. Just like with Eze, I had no problem with Edouard dropping onto the bench, because sometimes you just need to drop off. You need to watch it from the sidelines and earn your chance, or have a bit of time and then afterwards get put back in there. Eze, I feel like it has worked out for him. I feel like it will work out now if he's back into the starting lineup. And that's why Eze should start, because Eze is a better attacker than the players that we got right now. Wilf, there's no doubt about that. If Wilf is fit, he starts. And if you're talking about Eze, Wilf, Elise is starting, in front of goal, who would I want to save my life between Edouard and Mateta? You don't want to see probably neither of them. But if I had to pick,
being honest,
Edouard. It would have to be Edouard. Because the chances of me surviving based on the stats so far this season and what I saw last season, I just believe in him more of a footballer. But we don't have to talk about just Edouard alone. Patrick, just quickly from you.
Sure.
Forget about Edouard and striker.
Right.
Does Eb start in this game? Because we know Eze's fit. And if he doesn't, then why not? Because we're facing Aston Villa. And once again, that's no disrespect to Aston Villa, but you want to have more attacking intent on the pitch. Like, why wouldn't you start the likes of Eze against Villa?
Why wouldn't you start? We talked about it pre-show, because we haven't lost a game in 2 straight. We played very well in those matches, and I feel that he wants to get that continuity. This will be if he kept this lineup the same. It was the 3rd straight match where we have the same players. So Congo would still be in there. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you got Ayu, Schlupp, Mateta, Olise as that front 4. It's not ideal. That's why I think he would keep it the same. Again, this is not about what we want. Like, again, if it was what we would want as a group or individually, I'm sure most of us probably want Ebbs in there, Zaha, and Edouard. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not going to have a meltdown if I see the same lineup on Saturday, because I'm telling you right now, I just believe that he thinks that if he keeps doing this, eventually the dam's going to break. The dam being, we're going to start scoring some goals.
The quality up there, Patrick, is not good enough.
I'm telling you, I know what you're saying, but I'm
expecting what you expected from players that throughout their careers haven't been that prolific scorers. Like, there's nothing about that. Well, for example, the likes of Eze or Elise, you could see something about the game, but what do you see out of Jeffrey Schlupp, Mateta, and Jordan Ayew to go and get them goals? It's not going to change. I don't think anything's going to change. They might score against Villa, and we might say, oh, look, great, Vieira. But in the long run, 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen. I'd rather have the players that's shown it at the top level or have something about the game, step out on the pitch and prove themselves. So but let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below as well, because look, I think we should go for it. I think our best attackers should start in this game. I would involve Eze once again as well into the starting lineup, but let us know. We've been talking about this a bit longer than probably
we should have. One more thing, D. Yeah, I will say I agree with you 100%, but just to throw one more monkey wrench into this, who scored their only goal of the season versus Villa this season? Who was that?
Boy, last time we faced Villa.
I'm just saying. He's only got 1 all year against Villa, so I'm just saying. Another reason why the manager said, oh, yeah, he scored against last time.
They got a new manager now.
I'm just saying.
They got a new manager. You got a new manager, so I get Steven Gerrard's side. We beat them 3-1.
I meant to have to change. Still this guy.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. But he came off the bench, right?
He did. It was off the bench goal. You're right. Listen, you're
I
right.
remember he came off the bench. Yeah, I remember.
Great ball by.
I didn't want a header. That's like that is super rare. You want a header. That was it helped. Well, let's move on to the league table. As it stands right now, we are 12th in the league. Our most prestigious spot. It's like basically being top of the league. We're remaining at the as a top 12 team in the league. It hasn't changed for God knows how many weeks now. And if we win this game, shock, we're gonna remain 12th. If we draw this game, shock, we're gonna remain 12th. But if we lose it, then we might drop down to 15th. So it seems like
same stakes as last week.
Well, exactly. The majority of the outcome, it seems like we're going to remain 12th once again. So that's a positive. At least we're not dropping down to 13th or even going up the table because I enjoy being 12th. Well, look, all jokes aside, based on the positive performance that we've seen lately and the changes that we made, would a win change the mentality for the rest of the season, considering the games that we got coming up in April? If we beat Villa, a side that's on our level, we've got 10 games, so-called winnable games. I'm not going to say we will win all 10 games, but, if in them 10 games we've got Lokonga playing and improving. If you've got Zaha in the lineup, maybe in April, if it's not this game, or Eze, and we beat Villa in this game, wouldn't it give me that optimism going towards the end of the season? Because in honesty, I clocked out of the season back in January probably, or late December, because it was basically done after the FA Cup. But this gives me something to be excited about. Am I the only one?
No, I think it's momentum, innit? Like, it's momentum. That's what we need. I'd even say, even with the draw elements, to be fair, like there's been something in us in all these performances we've had since the turn of the, well, not even the turn of the year, within, I'd say, the last 4 or 5 games, where we've worked hard. And we know we know in the back of our heads, we're sitting there thinking, maybe he played for the draw, against top teams as well. Whether you agree with certain things or not, or whether we threw away certain games or whatever, that's neither here or there. But it's all about momentum. You pick up a win here, players start picking up, certain players start having belief, depending on who the goal scorers, the creators are, who's worked harder in that sort of game. That changes a man's mentality. You start winning, it's like when you're at work, when everything's on top, when you're on top and everything's doing, you feel bulletproof, you feel on top of the world. As soon as things start going left or not the way you think they should, you kind of find it harder to get out of bed in the morning. And that kind of comparison, didn't want to go off too much on a tangent there, but essentially it's all about us generating momentum. And I think it's more about certain players in the team generating types of performances as well. Let's say, for example, in a crazy hypothetical, Mateo or Edouard bangs in 1 or 2 goals. All of a sudden, the outlook of them and the outlay of the way their play looks different. Their mentality will change. I feel that a lot of players in our team are form-based players. So at the end of the day, when you got the manager over his shoulder, everyone's celebrating, everyone's going crazy. You can go back to the fan base and, have something to cheer about and, have something to brag about. Not a better feeling in the world, man.
Yeah, look, if you look at their last 5 games, Aston Villa, they've got 2 wins, 3 losses. They've beaten Everton over the weekend. That was the most recent win. They've lost to Arsenal, City, Leicester, beat Southampton. When you look at their form table, you expect them to be winning the games that they're winning. Maybe they should have done a bit better against Leicester and losing the games that they should be losing. So there's nothing surprising there. But in terms of, who we should worry about in Aston Villa, who sticks out for you? Because for me, it's Ollie Watkins. I think he's a player.
100% Ollie Watkins.
Lately.
The guy.
But do you think we've got enough to stop him, though? I think that Gahey-Anderson partnership should be good enough.
Absolutely. I think we got enough because I think we got one of the best center back pairings in the Premier League, if I'm being quite honest. So, yeah, I think we definitely have enough. Does that mean that Ollie's going to get stopped or that he's not going to score a goal? I don't know, because honestly, I'll take an Ollie Watkins goal if it's behind us winning 2-3-1. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's all relative, but he's definitely the guy for them. I think that poses the largest threat by far. Yeah,
Patrick, for you, in terms of Palace, who are you looking to perform? For me, if he was to start, I think the one player that I'm looking to perform, well, you can mention the strikers as well, but I would like Eze if he was to start. I think it's going to be important for him this game, if he ever gave him the opportunity. If not Eze, of course, the strikers. For you, is there anyone else that you're looking out for in this game?
Yeah, I'm not looking for them to perform. I think they're going to start. I'm going to go with the same lineup as last match. So I'm going to look for that Lokonga, Decore axis to really work well again, and of course Olise, because based on who I think is going to start, Olise is going to be have to be the main creative force. Without him creating, we won't create much, if anything. So for me, it'll be Decore and Lokonga dominating that midfield, which versus Douglas Luiz or Kamara is going to be an excellent matchup because I really rate both of those Villa midfielders, the better midfielders. And again, Olise out wide. Now Olise is going to have a probably go against, I guess, Luca Dina on that side. That would be an interesting matchup. So to me, those are the key pairs for Palace.
Yeah, and I think it'll be. Look, I don't think there's much to separate both teams, but I think if we go for it and if they go for it, it should be an exciting game. It should be. It'll be different from when we face them at home. Let's just say that because they got Emery, and trust me, he's a good manager. He's a good manager. That's a winner as well. So he'll be up for it. It'll be interesting to see how they approach this game tactically, especially at home. But look, let's move on to the score predictions. I'll start off with you, AJ. We spoke about the game. You mentioned the word draw a few times. Seems like you're a bit nervous and you're thinking. What about your score prediction? Are you going for a draw? A win? A defeat? Away from home? Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff?
2-1 Palace. Olise goal. Olise is definitely scoring. Anderson's going to get his first goal. Good evening. Done.
So that means I'm probably gonna score from a corner, then I bet. Okay.
2-1. It's funny. We're talking about this for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I watch everyone predict wins for Palace. I'll start off with you next, Patrick. Your prediction for the game?
Villa away is always a tough matchup. The last time we were there, it was a 1-1. Before then, we lost 3-0, lost 2-0, lost 1-0. Listen, you talk about a must win. I'd love to get a win. I'm not predicting it. I'm going to go for 1-1. I think the draw is going to keep on rolling. But we need 40 more draws to stay up. According to my math, that will give us
hold on. I'm not letting you get away with that. Because if this was me, you'll all be getting on to me.
Earlier in the show, you said you're going to predict the win.
Yeah, 20 minutes ago, he literally said he's going to predict the win.
Yeah, but I had to look at the stats.
That is true. I'm backing it.
We don't win there.
Wait a minute, though. Pat own it.
Yeah,
he
20 minutes ago, you just said
all right. You know what? I didn't say that, but then, that's weak. You're right. 2-1 Palace.
I lied.
No.
I respect that.
3-1 Palace. 3-1 Palace.
All right, now we're definitely not winning. I mean, you just
have
to
to
go
go 3-1. So that's good.
That's...
Take my stuff serious. I never get one right anyway. It doesn't matter what I say, but whatever. I never get prediction right ever. So what's the difference? So
I don't know, man.
Don't worry, you're not the only one. He's a general.
I wasn't a role before the Oracle, right?
Yeah, the Oracle.
That's gone.
That thing is gone, man.
3-1 Palace. I'm predicting 3-1 Palace.
He's giving that Oracle thing to me. T. He gave it to me.
No, I'm not. T can have it. You can't have it. T can have it.
Okay, all right. T, I go. Look, for a panel that was a bit like pessimistic about this game, all I'm seeing is wins. Like, honestly, at this rate, I don't even know why I was even debating the last half an hour. But T, what are you saying? Win as well?
Man, knowing that we're going to go with that same starting 11, which, like I said, I fully expect him to do, I'm going to go 0-0.
No.
Yep. Nil Palace.
Makes sense to me. 0-0 Palace, right?
Okay.
Right, there you go, T. 0-0 to the Palace. Yeah, exactly.
0-0 to the Palace. Let's forget about that. All right, so I'm going to give my prediction. Okay, so if it's the same lineup, I'm going for 1-0. If the lineup changes and we have
Please stop. There... No. We don't make alternative prediction. It's one. You don't say if this. It's either this or that.
No. We can do that.
When do we start doing that? This week.
And if Mateta starts and then the lineup
fair enough
changes in terms of Wilf is there, I think it'll be 1-0 Villa. If Wilf and Edward start, I think it could be 2-1 Palace. But if he starts Will, who's there, it could be also 3-1 Palace. Instead of
bro, wait.
Hang on. Let me write this down. There's too much happening right now.
You know this is doing.
1-0 Villa as well.
You know what this is doing? This is setting him up for the match reaction to be right no matter what. I said it.
Can I?
Like if I wake up, if I go to the shop and I bump into my nan, we'll draw our starts. Right, that's mad.
So can I go back? If Palace score first, we win. If Villa score first, they win. If no one scores, it's a draw. Can I do that?
No,
Did
you're
you
not
just-
allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do
Did
that.
you just
Can I do that?
No, you're
that
not
was
allowed
some,
to do that.
that was
You're
right,
not allowed,
Patrick.
you're
That
not
was
allowed.
some Michael Owen punditry right there, mate. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Thank
brilliant.
you. Exactly.
Man went, if nobody scores, we draw.
Please draw, exactly. I mean, what are we
finished.
talking about here?
All right, cool. I'll
It's
say,
real
all right,
stuff.
cool. But everyone knows what I predicted, anyways. I just mentioned it so you can go.
I gotta
click
write
up,
it
but I'm
down.
pretty
Can you do
sure.
that again? I gotta write it down. I'll write
Right.
it down. Can I again, please?
No, don't worry. You can watch it back. I will give
Yeah,
my
right,
prediction.
yeah,
anyways.
right.
I'll go for 1-0 Palace for now, anyways. But of course, that result can change depending on the lineup. Could also go 3-1 Palace.
Okay, that was-
Palace,
two-
2-0 Palace,
two-
1-0 Palace, and
two-
also 1-0 Villa.
Making a mockery
One-
of this
I
now.
said 2-1 Villa and 3-1
1-0.
Villa as well. So it just depends on how it
What a
goes.
mockery.
For the start
D,
lineup.
mate, you've gone mad
Villa.
with power, mate. You've gone mad with
Yeah.
power. Like, you're running
You're-
the stream,
you're-
you're doing all kinds of mad stuff.
You've lost it, man.
Wait a minute, wait. You said 4-2 Newcastle?
Yeah, 4-2
Yeah, exactly.
4-2 Newcastle. Charlie,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm trying to
Newcastle as
keep
well.
up. I'm just
Hey,
Newcastle
D,
as
you
well.
forgot to factor in the weather and everything, mate. You forgot to
Oh
factor
my
in the weather,
days.
mate.
What is this
Right.
kid doing?
No, I already checked the weather, so it should be overcast or sunny. So overcast or sunny, we do tend to get results. So that's why I predicted. Like,
Wait a minute. Did you
I'm
say
saying that, but it
overcast
depends
and
on the
sunny?
place. No, overcast or
and
sunny.
He's a weatherman.
Or sunny.
Ah, contradiction.
And sunny?
I'll give enough
Overcast
prediction.
and
I'm not giving
sunny.
prediction based on the weather as well. I'll give enough
Isn't that
prediction
partly
based on the
cloudy?
start
I don't
lineup.
know.
I'm telling you,
We-
it'll be one of those results. It'll be one of those results.
We're
I'm
a
pretty
travesty
sure
now.
of
We
that.
become a travesty.
Overcast and cloudy. Oh, and
Yeah,
sunny.
no. Overcast.
There was
or
me making
sunny.
people think I was a professional, you know. What's
You know
going
what I
on?
mean?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's wrap it up. We've gone on for much longer than expected. Probably our longest preview.
1-1
Where
Palace.
people were just
2-1
debating with me
Palace.
that we're not going to win the
1-0.
game. Then everyone wanted to predict
Uh.
wins, apart from me, which is quite funny because I was the one that's most optimistic about this game.
You were.
But look,
You were.
if you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Back of the Nest, not miss out on featured videos. We'll be back with more content throughout the week. As always, make sure to leave your comments in the comment section down below, letting us know your thoughts ahead of the game. That's it from me, Patrick, T, and AJ. And until next time, up the Palace.